Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this webcast, How to Scale Employee Benefits Utilization Through Modern Benefit Technology, sponsored by Forma. This webcast has been pre-approved for HRCI and can be submitted for SHRM credit. Please be sure to attend the complete webcast in order to receive your credits. If you have any questions during the webcast, click on the Q&A tab in your webinar controls and type them there. A new tab will open in your browser with the webcast survey. Please be sure to complete it as soon as the webcast is ended. It is now my pleasure to turn it over to Forma for their presentation.
Great, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ellie Guile, and I'm a Senior Customer Success Manager here at Forma, the Life Benefits Platform. I'm joined today by our guest speakers, Heather Escobedo and Marina Karpova. Heather is the Senior Director of People Operations at Rev.com with almost 20 years of experience in the HR and people operations space. She has tremendous passion when it comes to design and scaling employee benefits to bring harmony for employees at work and in life. Marina is the Global Director of Payroll at DoubleVerify. She has many years of experience in payroll and accounting, and she oversees the administration of payroll globally, managing employee relations, benefits, and compensation. Marina is one of the key leaders in effectively driving strategy, design, and implementation of total rewards and initiatives. And I just found out that today is also her work anniversary at DoubleVerify. So Heather and Marina, thank you both so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for the invitation.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. Thank you both for joining today. I know I've had the privilege of working with Rev and DoubleVerify for the last year on your modern benefits, and very proud to see how your programs have taken off. So I'm excited to hear from both of you today on your experience and your thoughts on scaling your benefits through technology. All right. Well, that leads me into our agenda for today. Today, we're discussing how to scale employee benefits utilization through modern benefits technology. Some takeaways for today, we'll be reviewing an overview of lifestyle spending accounts, or LSAs, program design for LSAs and metric benchmarks, and how to start exploring LSAs to maximize benefits utilization. Before we jump into today's discussion, I'm going to give a brief overview of Forma just to give some context of who we are and what we do, which I promise will be brief, just about 3 to 5 minutes. And then we'll jump into a 10-minute market landscape overview, a review of lifestyle spending accounts. And the majority of our time today will be a panel discussion with Marina and Heather on benefits design and maximizing utilization. Finally, we will end today with a Q&A. As a reminder, there is that Q&A function here on Zoom. So feel free to submit any questions along the way, and we'll answer those towards the end of today's webinar. All right. So I'll start first with just a few minutes to go over an intro of Forma. Who are we and what do we do? So I want everyone to first think back 15, 20 years, employers have historically provided benefits programs in a pretty cookie cutter manner. As many of us know, it can be difficult to make employee benefits flexible to support each individual employee in a personalized way. There are so many different point solutions that have been introduced to the benefits industry over the last 10, 15 years, but it can be difficult to navigate how many different point solutions do we need. In today's society, employees now need more flexibility and choice from employers. Forma's Life Benefits platform is designed to help you tackle this. Forma is designed to help you answer questions like, how can I design a benefits program that supports employees during those important life moments that matter? How can I support employees in an equitable way across the globe, given how diverse and dispersed my employee base is? With Forma, we help employers to build a fully customizable benefits offering through a spending account platform designed to be flexible to fit each employee's individual needs. As you can see here, Forma offers lifestyle, caregiving, mental health, commuter programs across the globe through our Life Benefits platform, and employees can utilize those programs in a variety of ways. including submitting a reimbursement claim, using a Forma card, or shopping directly from our Forma store. So far, from our flexible and customizable model, we've seen really great success. We've seen an average of 85% employee engagement, 98% CSAT ratings on a continuous basis, while also seeing a reduction in administrative time, upwards of 80%, and a reduction in employee inquiries, upwards of 50%. Now, our takeaways today will mostly be centered around LSAs, or lifestyle spending accounts, which can be offered in a variety of areas: physical, mental wellness, caregiving, education, and more. But Forma does apply that same flexible and customizable model to other areas such as HRAs and pre-tax accounts as well, to help you meet your employees where they are. Okay, infomercial over. As promised, I'll keep our introduction of Forma brief. At the end of our session today, we will share some resources and places you can find more information in the chat. But with all that said, I'll jump into our main discussion topics for today. So let's start by getting into the landscape of employee benefits today. Heather, Marina, as I'm sure you've experienced in today's market, we're living in a time of constant change, and that's presented a challenge to benefits leaders. Employees are constantly changing as our work environments have changed over the last few years, especially with the pandemic and economic changes. I know for me, I used to take public transit to an office every day, and now I'm working from home full time. So that's a big lifestyle change for your employees. I know here at Forma, we've received outreach from many companies looking for guidance on how we can provide support for our employees who are working from home or are now commuting, or both. Some employees may need childcare, others may need pet care or other support. So the needs are shifting at a fast rate, and it can be really difficult to provide benefits that support each employee in a cost-effective way for benefits leaders. So I want to go ahead and pause and open up our poll question for today. What is the main contributor when evaluating and purchasing new benefits technologies? Is it cost consolidation and reduction, administration time saving, more employee benefits coverage and options, employee engagement and utilization, or employee productivity and retention? So Marina, Heather, I'd love to get your input here too. What are your thoughts? How would you all answer this question when you're evaluating benefits technology?
Yes, hi, Ellie. I would definitely say from our perspective at Rev, definitely cost consolidation and reduction. It's a perfect time right now. We're actually almost going through open enrollment. So we're right in the thick of looking at new benefits offerings, looking at the benefits offerings that we currently have, and having this lifestyle account for our employees has just been so beneficial over the past few years.
Definitely. Yeah, cost reduction definitely makes sense, especially in today's economy. Anywhere where you can have some cost savings is great for sure. Marina, how about you? What are your thoughts?
I think that's hard for me to choose, tell the truth. I think all of them relate.
All the options.
Yes, but I think working in payroll department, and we work very close with accounting team, I would say administration time save for sure.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's important to have all the information in timely manner and also accurate information, because in the past, we had a lot of errors, a lot of delays, because it was impossible to process everything on Excel spreadsheets. Right. So now I think I would say administration time save. Forma was able to arrange reports for us that we just pass through into our accounting software. And pretty much it's being done in, I would say, 5-minute time. So that saved us not only time, but also I think to process everything that would need an extra person from the beginning to end. So that's, we saved a lot on administration time.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a huge thing too, is administration time. You're spending so much time managing, like you said, Excel sheets and Google Sheets throughout your day. Anywhere where you can minimize that is great. And it is also a cost saving too. You're saving costs when you're saving time. Looking
Yes.
at our results here. So looks like this kind of lines up perfectly with what you both said. 32% of our audience said cost consolidation and reduction. 20% said administration time save. 32% said more employee benefits and coverage options. And then about 16% said employee engagement and utilization. So totally makes sense. Definitely a no-brainer that cost consolidation is top of mind right now in today's economy. Also, we're always looking for a holistic platform that can free up administrative burden for HR leaders. That's definitely becoming an important business goal to see not only a reduction in costs, but also promote retention, employee productivity as well. Awesome. Well, thank you both for your answers there. I think that's definitely really interesting to hear about. And I know from our end, looking at the past 10, 15 years, like I said, we've been living in so much constant change, from financial changes, the global pandemic changing how we all work every day, to dealing with economic inflation and the overturning of Roe v. Wade. With these constant changes in our world, today's workforce is definitely changing too. Whether we're working from home or managing a hybrid model or commuting, today's workforce is definitely more diverse and distributed than ever before. I know for Forma, at the start of the global pandemic, we received a lot of outreach about implementing wellness programs and work from home support. Now this year, especially since the overturn of Roe v. Wade, we've received an influx of requests for medical travel support and questions on how we can quickly implement HRAs. So over time, there are so many different types of programs to implement to keep up with this changing world. And from a benefits perspective, it's become really difficult to keep up with all of those different changes. As employee needs evolve and change, benefits leaders are hearing the needs of employees and often making the decision to add more and more point solutions to accommodate those needs. But those various solutions often have low adoption, or the work to maintain multiple solutions becomes overwhelming. So Marina, Heather, does that resonate with you? Is that similar to how your experience has been in the past?
Yes, definitely, Ellie. I mean, we are really just struggling to stay outside of the box. In the industry that I work in, employees want more. Employees want to see innovative options. And so, that's something that I take into consideration as we are building out our benefits plan for the next year. So Forma's been really good at providing such a breadth of opportunities of the online store, the ability to use credit card. There's untapped potential even within how Rev is using Forma today. So it definitely resonates with our organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's great to hear like you can be so creative with how you use your lifestyle benefits, and you can really pick and choose what works best for you, rather than, just one point solution, or having to go to different areas to find what you're looking for. It can be difficult for employees and also difficult for you all as admins to manage too. Marina, what's your experience been like?
So definitely we were struggling. And as you mentioned before, I've been at Double Verify for a year. I think when I started, we used a lot of Excel sheets and Google Sheets. And at some points we still continue using them with other areas. So I'm sure there are companies and there are some people on the call who still have this kind of approach. And we were one of that company. We thought that definitely there is a company that would be able to satisfy our needs and would be able to comply with our with employee wants, pretty much, to make their experience easy and happy, to make them happy, especially with current situation with COVID. We want to have a very good retention of employees. We want to make them happy, and that's why we found Forma. And so far, we are having an amazing experience. So We are not going back to Excel sheets anymore. So I think that's a huge positive plus.
Yeah, that's definitely a plus for sure, to not have to manage so many different things. And it definitely shows that when you are managing so many different solutions and trying to keep up with all of the different employee needs, data proves that when all those different solutions are implemented, the desired outcome that your employees and you are looking for often isn't delivered. So as you can see, satisfaction of employees and admins are low, engagement isn't high enough when there are so many different solutions put into place trying to accommodate, the different needs of every single employee. So there definitely needs to be, and there is, a better way to meet the needs of our ever-changing diverse workforce. There has to be a way to implement modern benefits programs that drives value on all sides, for you as admins and for the employees. And I know there's questions that lots of benefits leaders like you are facing and looking into today. And so I know that great, holistic solution that we're talking about is lifestyle spending accounts. And for Rev and Double Verify, those take different shapes. I know for Rev, it's more of a wellness program that's been implemented last year. For Double Verify, we have that Flex Lifestyle program that's been implemented just this year. So LSAs, or lifestyle spending accounts, are a great cost-effective option that many employers are choosing to adopt over multiple point solutions. So in case anyone isn't familiar, LSAs are predetermined funds set up by an employer that can be used for a variety of employee expenses, such as childcare, mindfulness and wellness programs, transportation, home office equipment. The list really goes on, and employers are able to be really flexible and creative in what they'd like to include. And the goal here is it really gives every employee the chance to choose programs that are most meaningful to them individually. And we can see that LSAs are really becoming more and more mainstream from some third-party research that we've done too. In an effort to promote retention, like I know we mentioned, 74% of employers are making plans to offer more flexible benefits such as LSAs. 24% plan to increase or improve those benefit offerings, and 23% plan to increase communication around those flexible benefits too. And I think this is really interesting here too. So here at Forma, we actually teamed up with a third party to do some research as well on the perceived value of LSAs. We had a variety of participants go through an analysis of the various benefits offered by employers, and we got some really interesting results. The study showed that out of 17 different benefit offerings, LSAs ranked second, just behind 401k contributions. So in the eyes of employees, there was really just a 0.1 differential between offering an LSA and offering a 401k contribution. And the perceived value of an LSA benefit is actually 53% higher when employees are given that choice and flexibility. So what this essentially means is that for $1 spent on an LSA, an employee actually perceives that value as $1.53. So we've seen that LSAs can provide tremendous value to employees, even higher than most other benefits programs considered, while also keeping in mind that cost consolidation. So we've really learned lots of great insights from our research and from our customers over the years, including Rev and Double Verify. Marina, Heather, you both have been kind of pioneers in this flexible benefits space. So I do want to go ahead and turn the conversation over to you and hear your experience on evaluating different benefits technologies, maximizing utilization. So I'll go ahead and stop my share here. And let me pull up our panel discussion so we can go ahead and dig into that as well. So let me go ahead and start with some background on the story of how you both, or how both of your organizations kind of got into flexible benefits. Heather, we can start with you with Rev. How did you and Rev identify the need and start the conversation about flexible benefits? What's the story for you all?
Yeah, so, as you were talking about earlier, there's many different types of programs, LSAs, or your more traditional wellness programs. I can recall those days where I was working off of a spreadsheet or sending a spreadsheet to payroll because an employee completed a 5K or a 10K, and it just seemed like the options or what we had to offer in the past, we just didn't have very many options, right? So as we're moving forward and the technology is greater today, we wanted to find something that would really empower our employees, really empower them to make the decisions on how they wanted to spend those funds. And the great thing about a lifestyle spending account is that the employer can really determine the budget. So if you're a smaller organization and you don't have a very large budget, you can make a small budget for your employees each month. If you're a larger organization and you have a little bit more funding for this type of account, then you can fund it greater. And so I think we might land right in the middle, with Rev. And the benefit also for our employees, they can go into the store, they can request a physical card to use. A lot of our spending, it looks like it's been with regards to wellness, but it does cross over into that lifestyle as well. So most of our employees use their monthly spendings for like fitness equipment or fitness accessories. They use it for gym membership fees. They use it for massages. They use it for even crossing over into groceries. They can go to Whole Foods or to the local grocery store and purchase some healthy options for that particular month. And the great thing is that each month our employees receive their new balance. So they use their allotted amount for that particular month. And then the next month they have that account refreshed on the first of the month. So it's been really beneficial for our employees. Utilization has gone up. We've only been partnering with Forma for a couple of years, but we've definitely seen the utilization increase over those couple of years. We've also seen this as a great recruitment and retention tool. So having this benefit in these employees knowing that they have this opportunity to use the money in this account each month for something that they choose to, that they're not having such a narrow scope on what they can use it for, it's really engaged our employees to use this. And it's something that can grow with our company. So I had mentioned briefly earlier that I don't think that we have even fully utilized, all scopes of this product. And, there's things that we can consider, such as, at Rev, we have a varied population. So we may want to look at things in the future that we're not currently using today. So yeah, that's kind of where we stand today. I mean, we've been happy with it so far. We've gotten great feedback from our employees so far. And, I would definitely encourage, even if you're worried about the budget, that you can even look at the budget for what might match your company's requirements.
Yeah, definitely. I think the budget is definitely something that can be a challenge, especially when it comes to presenting this to leadership. We want to provide this to our employees, but how can we prove to our leadership team that this is going to be worthwhile and show us a return? Heather, do you have any insight on kind of how you approach that roadblock of acquiring that budget in the first place?
Yeah, like I said, so Forma was already actually established when I joined Rev about a year ago. And, one of the things that's always in the back of my mind is how can we enhance this? So for someone starting out, I would say look at where your health or lifestyle budget currently is, and is there an opportunity to transition that into a program like Forma or a partnership with Forma or someone like that? Or if you haven't started at all, kind of look at those costs of retention and keeping employees engaged, and what is it really costing if you have high turnover and you're looking for a way to retain employees. It might be that you could use an opportunity like Forma instead of a retention bonus, for example, or even sign-on bonuses. So it can be used in that recruitment, both at the front end and the back end. So you just have to kind of be creative with where you might have to pull this money from if it's not already budgeted.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think the creativity can kind of go in multiple ways too, like creative in how you use those funds, whether that's towards retention or any other programs, but also allowing your employees to be creative too. Like you mentioned, like 1 month you might use your lifestyle stipend on one thing, the next month you might want to use it on something else. Maybe you change over time as well. Your employees are always changing over time. So it's definitely a great benefit that they're able to pick and choose and switch how they might want to use that. So, Marina, how about at Double Verify? I know you started at Double Verify a year ago today, and they had also kind of already started the process of looking into flexible benefits, and we're planning on implementing Forma and ultimately launched your lifestyle account back in February. But what was the story there and the conversation around flexible benefits and the benefits of flexible benefits with Double Verify?
Sure. So we, Double Verify has presence in more than 15 countries globally. And we always wanted for employees all over the world to have the same positive experience regarding their lifestyle benefits. So we were initially, we had spreadsheets per country, and spreadsheet was supposed to be submitted by employee with attached receipt, approved by the manager, approved by HR, then submitted to payroll and payroll processed. And after that, lots of other steps. So it was very overwhelming, and potentially we did have mistakes because we didn't know how much money people spend. We didn't know whether this is taxable benefit, non-taxable benefit, who qualifies for what. Right. Whether this is a duplicate receipt or whether we're already, something new. And this was the problem that I faced when I joined. And when I joined, as you mentioned, Double Verify was in process of choosing a company that would help them with this. And luckily I joined when Q4, when we started the process. And it took us about 2 months from start to finish. To go live with the Forma that changed everything. And I'm sure Heather spoke from one side, and I can add to that from a different side, different perspective, such as the admin user experience. I think that during the implementation, which was very good. We had a dedicated person who was constantly having meetings with us to ensure we are on track and everything is up to date and whatever we need is there. So we did customize a lot of stuff to match our needs. So this was one of the greatest things that we were able to add, delete, and adjust anything we wanted. That brought a huge area of different, as Heather mentioned, massages, pet care. So I think that was amazing. So now from admin perspective, I ensure that we get a report on a quarterly basis, and this is our choice, just our company's choice, how to process this reimbursements. So every 5th of the month, I personally receive an email separated by US and global, and that I just pass through to our payroll provider, and that's it. And the same report I provide to accounting team that uploads it to our accounting software. We verify some information, but we never had mistakes. So I think that now we become a little lazy, so we just check 5 or 10 employees, so that that's even better. So yeah, definitely the experience has been amazing. And also I use personally Forma platform. I used it not long ago. I was I didn't know what I want to spend this on, whether massage or anything else. So I was debating. So at the end, I have a 3.5-year-old daughter who goes to preschool. And I was thinking that let me try to use that invoice from preschool. Maybe it will help, to buy million toys extra for her. So I submitted a receipt to Forma and it was approved in, I believe, a day or two. And so based on our setup, I will get reimbursed October because it was done like a month ago. Initially, we had a choice to do it monthly, but we decided that it will be just easier for us to do quarterly, and our employees didn't mind that process. So we just decided to go this way. So I'm excited for an amazing reimbursement for me. And I think, as a parent, I think that's a huge plus to me as an employee working in this company, because I feel that the company cared for my well-being and for well-being of my family. So that's definitely, I think, it's definitely a retention bonus for me.
Sure. Yeah, you want to make sure that your employees are happy and using their benefits as well. I think that can be a big challenge sometimes too, is we provide these great benefits, we put all this work into maintaining these different solutions, but sometimes the utilization isn't as high as we would want it to be. So I think that's a great point too, Marina, is that with a customizable lifestyle spending account, you're able to give your employees the option, how do you want to use this? Use it however works best for you. You as a parent, caregiving expenses make sense for someone else who maybe isn't a parent yet. Maybe it's more pet care or new running shoes, something like that. So there's a variety of ways that you can use those funds and it can make the most sense for you. So we've definitely seen that the utilization tends to go up when employees aren't pigeonholed into just specific areas where they can use those funds.
And Ellie, I definitely was debating between massages and caregiving. I was.
Totally. And maybe next quarter you will get a massage because you can.
Definitely.
Oh, Kelly says that you deserve a massage too. You do.
Yes, I think I still have funds for next quarter, so I'm getting one for sure. I already found a place nearby, so I just need to wait for next quarter, I guess.
Yeah, I think that customizable piece that you mentioned too, Marina, Double Verify and Rev are two Forma customers, both implementing lifestyle spending accounts, but the setup for both companies is different based on what works best for you, Marina, from the payroll side, Heather, from your team side. Other setup might work better. So I know for Rev, we have a monthly stipend setup, and then for Double Verify, we have a quarterly stipend setup. Some companies allow their employees to accrue funds up into a certain point. Some companies have more of a use it or lose it method. And so you can really be creative and see what works best for your company based on your setup and what you think would work best. And I think another important thing too is being flexible and adaptable with those programs. Maybe things change over time. Maybe next year, Double Verify will decide, oh, actually, we want to give a monthly benefit rather than quarterly. So it definitely can vary in how you do that too. I think the next question we've kind of jumped into a little bit already, which I think is awesome. But I think let's see. So we've talked about the different areas that you look at when you're evaluating different technologies. Definitely plan design and being adaptable, offering flexibility for your employees. Let's see. Any recommendations or tips that you all have when it comes to roadblocks or challenges when it comes to onboarding and communication with employees or demonstrating ROI to your teams? Any recommendations there?
Yeah, I can jump in here, Ellie. Yeah, just the flex, I can't say enough about these types of programs and the way that you can shape it based on what your needs are and what you're really trying to get out of this program, right? So with ours, we like the monthly benefit. You know, we have that set amount that the employee receives each month. One of the huge advantages, I would say, that sets Forma apart from other vendors in this space is that you do have the ability to have a physical card. I know when we were looking at programs out there, there were some vendors out there that you could only purchase out of their online store. And although that's great, and that might be a first stepping stone for you, you know, our employees were really excited about the opportunity to have that physical card and to go into an REI or an academy or somewhere that they could actually spend their funds, or to use it as paying for their gym memberships each month, or going to Massage Envy. So moving forward, I mean, there's ways that, you know, again, looking forward, we can even enhance. We could look at increasing the spending amount.
Right.
We could look at, you know, pooling some money and providing it to managers within our organization, and allowing them to use it as a recognition, you know, for great employees. We could, you know, have additional funds added to a particular employee's account for that month. So there's different ways that you can even enhance things than what you're doing with the normal way that your plan is set up.
Yeah, absolutely. And in addition to just, you know, seeing if we can add more funds for certain employees or add additional programs for, you know, rewards or recognition, you can also just take the program that you have too and see how can we expand our current program. You know, can we add more eligible categories? Can we add, you know, extra ways that they can spend, like a card or paying out of pocket and receiving reimbursement? So I think that's a great point too, Heather. And I did see a question, which I think kind of goes right along with this, is can the company choose what types of expenses are allowable for an LSA, or does the vendor choose, like Forma? And I do want to share everyone, the company can really choose what works best for you and for your employees. You can be as flexible as you'd like to be when it comes to what are we offering in our lifestyle spending account. Do we want to offer more traditional wellness items, gym reimbursements, things like that? Or do we want to open it up and be more flexible to include food? Like I know Heather mentioned, you can use your stipend at Whole Foods to buy healthy foods for yourself. Or do you want to include childcare or pet care if you don't have a child yet? So you can definitely pick and choose what works best for you and for your company. And then your employees can pick and choose from there too.
And Ellie, I can add to that also that we at Double Verify, what we did is we picked a few people randomly, different positions, different age group, different, you know, years at DV. So we asked them, we shared the whole list of benefits that Forma offered us. Mm-hmm. And we asked them to see which one they would want to have. Right. You know, click all or few. And we went that way. And I think this was very, very good for us to see where our employees are and what would they like to see and what would make them happy. And based on that, we chose what, you know, we wanted to see on our account as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I think surveying your employees is a really great way to see, you know, what do people really want and what do people really need and what would make the most sense for them. And then what's great about a lifestyle spending account is then you can adjust it really easily to offer those things that people are needing and asking for. Heather, does Rev do anything similar, like surveying employees, seeing what they like about certain programs?
We do. You know, and we did a larger survey just recently coming into open enrollment, but you know, just having the lifestyle spending account as a standalone was something that many employees appreciated and did not want to lose. So that they were very vocal about that. And I like what Marina said about just kind of gathering different employees and looking at what they're wanting. You know, also, I would say just to keep the communication lines open, whether you use Slack or you have Teams, or if there's some way that you can message within your company, just even after orientation, because, you know, we talk about Forma in our onboarding and our new hire orientations, but keeping that conversation going, because employees are so overwhelmed at the beginning of joining a new company. And you know, just having a channel dedicated to, you know, what are you using your you know, monthly budget for? You know, people are going to learn of different ways that they can use it that they might not have even known they could use it for.
Totally. Yeah, I think that communication is really key, especially when you first launch a new program like this, but also, like you mentioned, continuously. You know, you want to make sure that people are always aware that they have that option to spend those funds. Marina, I know when we first launched the lifestyle program with Double Verify, we did kind of an intro to Forma, all hands meeting with the Double Verify team. And I think things like that really help to kind of spread the word and help employees feel more comfortable with those programs too.
Yes, definitely. We weren't too sure how to present this, how to make this so welcoming and so please use this way. So we used Forma to guide us with that and to help us to prepare this PowerPoint presentation and then email communication. However, we wanted to email ourselves. Right. So we wanted email to come from our higher management, and Forma gave us that choice. So we did send all the communications from our higher management, but we had PowerPoint presentation. We presented at all hands where all the employees were gathered, and we did allow them to ask any questions, which they did. And we did have all the answers because of the onboarding, because of all of these seminars that we had. So I think Forma did give us a very good white glove onboarding process, which was very beneficial, especially after, we weren't sure how it's going to go. It's a new program. So I think it was a huge help overall, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. You want to make sure that you have, an opportunity for your employees to ask those questions they might not be sure about, what's included in this program. I know a lot of times people will think, oh, this is strictly just for these kind of wellness expenses, or I can only use this at certain gyms or something like that. So having that sort of communication available to your employees can really kind of open their minds too. I'm like, oh, I can kind of use this however I want to. Maybe I want to use it at my local gym or not at the gym at all. Maybe I'll use a massage. So I think that's a really great point too, Marina, is allow them to ask those questions and keep those lines of communication open for sure. Awesome. And I do want to go back to as well, kind of the admin time saving too. I know from your perspective too, Marina, you're obviously on the payroll side. So that is a huge time commitment to process reimbursements, things like that. I did pull some metrics for Double Verify as well and saw that so far this year, there have been over 1,100 claims submitted during the time since the program has launched. So can you talk a little bit about how, the process with Forma has saved you some time as far as processing those claims, taking that burden off of you too?
So right now, to tell the truth, with all the sincerity, I don't feel any burden at all. And I don't know if it's good or bad. So it's, how this works is that employee submits receipt to Forma. Forma approves it and then stores it for audit perspective. And I receive, based on our preferences, I receive 2 reports, one report for US only, and Forma helped us to make this report that has all the headers and columns that our payroll system takes. So it's pretty much, I download it from Forma and I upload it to our payroll system. That's all that is needed. And then at the payroll register, I just triple check if everything is okay, spot check here and there, and that's it. For international, we agreed to separate by country. This is our preference. This is how we want it, because unfortunately, right now we are in that mode where it's Google Sheet and Excel sheet payroll, but we are moving away from that, hopefully. So for us, for now, it was the best solution. However, we will choose it once we onboard the new payroll provider, and then we will definitely change these settings. So it will be as easy as for US payroll. But overall, I think comparing to the past, I don't think there is a comparison even. because it's I feel like there is a different position in forma, a different person who does all this job and who doesn't need any supervision and nothing. So I just get the report, and I feel very spoiled at that because there is nothing to do really, which is great. So yeah, so this is my very positive experience, I think.
Awesome. Well, it's great to hear, the positive impact of the program so far at Double Verify, from your perspective as a payroll administrator too. Heather, what's been the impact since the launch of the Rev Wellness program? That could either be, employee satisfaction or the impact of, administration time on your end. What's been the impact so far?
Yeah, kind of along the lines of what Marina was saying. I mean, the administrative burden is zero. We are able to, if the employee uses the card, it just automatically gets taken off the credit card each month. We have it set up with our particular account where they can have a personal credit card also attached. So if they go over their monthly budget, the balance will roll over to their personal credit card. So again, that's a seamless transaction. Or if the employee wants to, I know, we have employees that prefer to use their own credit card and they want to get reimbursed. So if they use their own credit card, then they submit the reimbursement. And, the feedback that we've received from our employees is the processing and turnaround time from Forma is so fast. We have had such positive feedback around the turnaround time for their reimbursements, because that can be a concern for employees if they are having to utilize their own funds and request that reimbursement. So it is very fast. The different ways they can use it again. It's just been so insightful and so impactful to our employees. And we're always looking at ways that we can even build upon that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the employee experience and the employee impact is definitely a huge thing as well. I know for both of you, I looked at the CSAT score for Rev and for Double Verify, which is based off of the outreaches that we get to our member experience team. So we get some feedback on your programs and also just their experience with those programs. And both of you had 100% CSAT score, which is pretty amazing. So have you heard really good feedback from employees on their end as well, as far as their experience on getting questions answered, or, if there's any confusion that they have, their experience there?
Yes, I wanted to just share, you mentioned this earlier, Ellie, about within Forma specifically, if there's, if there's not a particular platform that you're looking at, that you can expand upon that platform. So I'll give a specific example. I mentioned that a lot of our employees like to get massages, and the way Forma has worked is, as long as there's been a successful usage in that particular company or location, then it will go through and it will process with no problem. But what we found is that if someone goes to, let's say, for example, a Massage Envy, that the Forma card has never been utilized before, the employee, that's the feedback we get. Oh, I can't use my card there. Well, no, you can use your card there. All you have to do is jump on with customer service, and they can actually get that corrected on the phone, real live time, so that within minutes you could go back to that same location and use your card. It's just a matter of that particular location might not have been within the database at that particular time.
Yeah, I know I've actually personally had that same experience too. I used my Forma card at my local gym, which is not like a major gym. It's kind of a local gym to Chicago. So my card transaction didn't go through at first because it didn't recognize the merchant. I pulled up my phone, messaged our member experience team, and they're so fast that they approved the merchant right away. I was able to get my card to go through. So I know for me, that's been a huge benefit too, is that fast experience when I have an issue or I have a question. That's a big value to employees as well.
And I also can add that I receive here and there some questions from employees regarding their balances, regarding transaction timing. For example, oh, I submitted, my transaction was approved yesterday. When will I get money? Why I didn't get it today? Or something like similar to that.
Right.
And I sent a question to the Forma team. I have amazing helpers who the turnaround time, I believe it's from 2 minutes to 4 hours, depending on the time zones, I guess.
Right.
So I always get a response and it's complete. And I just, ensure the employee receive this response. But most of the time, I think it's self-service. So they're able to resolve any questions they have themselves. So there's no really any questions to me except for,
Right.
but this is, I think, more accounting and more payroll question rather than the usage of the card or the reimbursement.
Right. Definitely. And I think that's another like admin time saved too, is less questions to you as the benefits leaders or the payroll leaders. Those questions can be directed to member experience or to a help center or the program policy, which lays everything out. So that also takes away some of that admin time too.
Yes, I love self-service. Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
exactly. Awesome. Well, perfect. I do want to make sure we get to some of the questions in the chat here. I know we've got about 10 minutes left before the end of the hour. Let's see. So from Amy, we asked, does the company choose what types of expenses are allowable, or does Forma? I think we talked about this earlier. Each company can choose what works best for them and what different categories they'd like to choose to include in each of their programs. And you can really be creative in what you'd like to include. You can include rewards for, if certain employees win competitions within your organization, you can add extra funds or give them additional funds in a different category than what you typically offer. You can really be creative there too. Awesome. Does Forma offer the LSA as a standalone benefit or as an add-on to a larger package of benefits? That's a great question. So Forma does offer a variety of benefits, including pre-tax accounts, HSAs, FSAs, commuter accounts, things like that. But you can do just an LSA as a standalone, and that could be a specific LSA, specific to wellness or specific to work from home expenses, or it can be more open and general, like a lifestyle spending account. Perfect. I do see a question here. What's the average annual amount that employers contribute toward employees' LSAs? That's a great question. It definitely can vary. So I know for Double Verify, they offer a quarterly amount. For Rev, they offer a monthly amount. I think the average can range up to, $2,000 a year down to $600 a year. It really varies on your budget and your goals and what you all would like to do, but we can really be flexible and give you some benchmark data as well, depending on the size of each company on what's typically offered too.
And Ellie, if you don't mind, I can quickly add to that. So we have presence in different countries, and Forma did convert this yearly amount using the rate that we provided to the local currency. So it's easier for employees to manage their receipts and manage their spending. And it's more understandable for them instead of converting everything from US dollars to the local currency. So that's a huge plus as well.
Yeah, that's a great point too, Marina. I know you mentioned earlier, we want to make sure that the benefits are equal across the globe for all of our employees, not just for our US employees. So it's really important to be able to offer something of equal value for those international employees while also, complying with those different countries' regulations and all of that. So we are able to offer those same stipends in local currency across the globe too. Awesome. Let's see. Does Forma offer the LSA as a standalone or a package? Okay, I think we answered that one. So yes, it can be a standalone. We can also include other types of accounts. I know we mentioned earlier as well, we've received a lot of interest around health reimbursement arrangements. So particularly for medical expenses, we can offer a reimbursement for those expenses as well through an HRA. But if we're just interested in an LSA, we can also just do that through Forma too. Another question here, is the platform a website, app, or both? Great question. Forma is available both on the web platform and as a mobile app. We actually just recently launched our newer mobile app with our new Forma branding too. So really depending on the experience that you like best, you can use either or both. I personally really like to use the app on my phone, just because if I have a receipt, I can really quickly snap a quick picture from my phone and upload it to the Forma app right from there. So that way I'm able to get my reimbursement going really quickly and really easily right from my phone without sending something to my computer first. Marina, Heather, do you guys have a preference on what you typically use for Forma?
For me personally, I typically use the physical card. So I usually just go onto the web if I just want to see what's in the store, if there's any, new offerings in the store that I haven't seen previously, so I can share that out to our employees. But no, I typically use the web actually.
For me, my phone is all the time with me, so definitely app. 100%. Yes, and I think lots of people nowadays, they use different mobile applications, including Apple Pay and everything else. So I think for me, app is definitely way to go.
For sure. And one thing I'll mention too is the admin portal that we have, which is available on the web. So Heather and Marina as admins are able to access the admin side of Forma to take a deeper look into real-time data analytics as well. So they're able to see, how much has been spent, what are the different categories that my employees are typically spending on. So you're able to get those real-time data insights right from your fingertips as well. So like Marina said earlier, self-service, you can check those things yourselves anytime on the website too. Awesome. And then, do you have a minimum funding amount? Great question. Not necessarily. I think for most of our customers, typically they'll give at least $50 a month or a quarter. But we do have some customers as well who will create an account specifically to give their employees access to our Forma store, for example. And you just need to have some funds in the Forma store in order to access that store. So we have some companies that will give $5 in an account just for the Forma store, just to give their employees access. Then you can also use a personal card to access the Forma store. We typically have discounts within the store. So that's an option as well. If you wanted to give a smaller amount, then your employees have access to the different vendors and the different deals within the store, and they can use a personal card there too. Right. Let's see, are there any other questions that we have for today? I see Suyin Lee's question here in the Q&A. I think we answered this one on typical amounts given. Let's see. All right, I think those are all of the questions that we have for today. Marina, Heather, any other thoughts from your end or any other questions that you have for today?
No, I think that everything went very well, and I think you covered everything. And I just wanted to say thank you for making our life easier and more fun with all these amazing features. So I think we're having an amazing experience and looking forward to many more months and years working with you guys.
Yeah, I agree with Marina. Just, one last thought around if you're just starting out trying to sell this to your leadership teams, think also about how you can tie this to your company's mission or values. Rev's values are serve, own, and grow. And so we definitely feel like we're embracing those values by partnering with Forma. So yes, thank you, Ellie, for inviting Rev and Double Verify to be here today. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you both so much for joining today and for sharing your awesome insights and for sharing your stories. I know for me, it's really great to hear how your employees are using their lifestyle benefits, how you all have been impacted by launching these lifestyle benefits. So thank you both for coming on and for sharing, for sure. And thank you everyone for joining today as well. Sorry, Marina, I saw you just unmuted.
No.
All good. Thank you everybody for joining today. To close out in the chat, we do have some extra things that we're sharing. Our CEO and co-founder Jason Fan will be at HR Tech Las Vegas, September 13th through 15th. Speaking with Sheila Kruger, head of global benefits at Zoom, discussing lifestyle spending accounts. We'd love to see you there. We're also sharing our 2022 benchmark report, which I mentioned earlier. This will be available in the chat. You can download this for some insights on LSAs and how to build successful lifestyle benefits programs. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining today. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Marina, and thank you, Heather.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank our presenters as well as all of you for joining us today. If you'd like to view this webcast again, the archive recording will be available on the hr.com website within 24 hours, and the webcast credit will show in your hr.com account within 2 business days. We'll also send you an email with your credit information. Your feedback is important to us. Please take a moment to fill out the exit survey that opened in a new browser page on your computer. This concludes our webcast. Enjoy the rest of your day.